Live streaming to YouTube is completely different than live streaming to any other platform because of how the recommendation systems work. The whole thing is based on performance and how people interact with your content, and because of that, if you're making any of the mistakes that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, you could be costing yourself views and overall performance on YouTube. So I'm going to share with you the 7 biggest mistakes that live streamers make on YouTube, and we're starting right now.
Quack.
The very first mistake, and I know that we're talking about live streaming here, but the very first mistake is not thinking about the replay experience that your viewers are going to be having when they're coming in on the replay of your live stream. The reason that this one is so important and at the very top of the list is because a lot of your views are going to come from while you're actually live, but based on how YouTube works, once your live stream is complete, you're going to get more views on that content because now it's a piece of video content that's now available for people to view on YouTube.
So what should you do?
You want to start your stream right away. So you don't want to sit there and just wait for people to come in before your show starts. You want to just go ahead and start delivering the content so that as people are coming in, that you already have something going on and you're not asking people to sit there and wait until you actually go live. The best way to do this is as your stream is starting, as soon as you hit the go live button, what you want to do is you want to have a hook. And a hook is basically to where you're telling the viewer what it is that they're going to be getting from watching your content and how that information is important to them or matters to them or impacts them in whatever way. This accomplishes 2 things. The first is that it increases your replay value because people are informed as they're coming into the actual replay content. The second advantage to this is it allows you to burn some time while you're waiting for people to show up as the notifications are going out. Most of your live viewers aren't even going to see that part unless they're waiting for you to start your live stream. That part right there is only for the replay. And of course, once your stream is actually going, just like you would do anyway, then of course you would just readdress the viewers that are there saying things like, oh, and just as a heads up for those of you that have just joined the stream, we're talking about XYZ. Or of course, just bring them up to speed to where it is that you happen to be in the information or the content that you're sharing. The next thing that you want to think about when it comes to catering for the replay value is you want to make sure that your shout out sessions to where you're welcoming people to the stream and that sort of thing by name, you want to make sure that you keep those relatively short because during the stream, it's awesome, right? Because those people are coming in, they're like, oh, hey, they shouted me out at school. But then once you actually experience that on the replay, there's no real value there for the replay viewers. So if you can, just try to keep that part short. The next huge mistake that tons of live streamers make on YouTube is using uninformative but well-branded thumbnails. If you have a following already, that sort of thing is a little bit easier to get away with, but if you really want to level it up and get more results out of YouTube, the best thing that you can do is make individual thumbnails that represent the actual content it is that you're going to be talking about or doing in your live stream. The example that I like to give for this is, let's say that you are a baseball fan and you open up your YouTube homepage. When you open up that YouTube homepage, YouTube is going to be displaying a bunch of videos to you or live streams to you that it thinks that you are most likely to enjoy at that point in time, because that's how YouTube works. And if you watch a lot of baseball related content or whatever it is that you're interested in, there's a really high chance that you're going to see thumbnails on your homepage or in your mobile feed if you're looking on your mobile device. It's extremely likely that you are going to see imagery that in some way represents things that you are interested in. So in the example of the baseball fan, when they log onto YouTube, if they watch a lot of baseball content, they're going to see a bunch of imagery that's related to baseball, in addition to some other content as well. But the thing that's going to grab that baseball fan's attention is that imagery that's related to baseball. So because of that, instead of having you in the thumbnail as the focus, or instead of having your brand imagery in the thumbnail as the focus, or whatever template that you're using, if you are trying to grab that baseball fan's attention on a homepage or in their mobile feed or coming from a suggested video, then in that particular case, you want to make sure that you're using some baseball imagery because you want your content to be identified at a glance as something related to baseball because it's going to be showing next to other baseball content as well. The idea for this is for whatever topic it is that you make content on, you want to make sure that you're using imagery or that you're putting words where it's crystal clear what it is that you're doing in your thumbnail to help people identify that the content that you're making is something that is of interest to them. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases with video content and live streaming content, creators fail to do that. And because of that, unfortunately, it costs them opportunities. The next big mistake that YouTube live streamers make is bad title structures. If you add live to the front of your title, you're taking up valuable space that you could be using to grab a viewer's attention or to actually pull them into your content. If your titles are more than 50 characters long, if you are putting the thing that would be the most important to the viewer at the end of your title, you're risking it getting cut off on different surfaces on YouTube, which will cost you views. If you just put the name of your show and an episode number, it's going to cost you views because that's another one of those situations similar to thumbnails where it doesn't really give any context to a potential viewer. The right way to write a title for YouTube that people will click on is to make sure that you're putting the thing that is the most important to the viewer or helps them identify that your content is for them. You put that towards the front of your title. Once you have the thing at the front of your title or the words at the front of your title that's going to resonate the most with your viewer that you're trying to reach, the next thing that you want to add, because you have that keyword towards the front that would trigger the viewer, you're not thinking algorithm here, you're thinking the viewer. So you have that keyword up towards the front, and then after that, you want to think, okay, how can I make this as compelling as possible? Taking this approach makes your titles informative and compelling, which also makes them effective. The next mistake is streaming for too long. And in some cases, it can be fine to stream for a long period of time. If you have active people in your live stream, for the duration of your live stream, then it's perfectly okay. But if you are just getting started with live streaming and you don't have a lot of people in there yet, and you're trying to use live streaming as a means to grow your influence on YouTube, that's a situation where you want to experiment with doing some shorter streams, doing some longer streams, and see what your audience responds to best while you're live. But also, this will help you create a better replay experience as well, because let's say that you have a new viewer coming in. When they click into your video and it's an hour long, that's a big commitment if they've never experienced your content before. However, if they click on it and it's 10 minutes long or 15 minutes long, that's much less of a commitment on their side, which means that they're more likely to interact with that content for at least longer than they would if they go in and they see that it's an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours like I do in my live streams, and then they bail. The next big mistake that live streamers make on YouTube is using countdown timers. Now look, I know countdown timers have their place. I know that for Facebook, they work great. I know in some cases on LinkedIn, they work great. But for YouTube, because of that replay experience and because of how people interact with content on YouTube, you do not want to have those countdown timers on your live stream. And that leads me to the next big mistake, which is not post-optimizing your live stream. Here's what I mean. When your live stream is complete, you can go into your YouTube Creator Studio and you can update the title if you need to. You can update the thumbnail if you need to. You can update the description with timestamps to help people find content easier within your live stream. You can add in-screen elements so that once people get to the end of your live stream, they have options to click on to take them into additional content. You can add YouTube cards throughout your live stream referencing other content or just trying to send people into more content on your YouTube channel. And most importantly, if you are someone who multicasts, let's say that you stream to Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter all at the same time through Streamyard, then in that case, if you used a countdown timer where it is appropriate in these other platforms, you can actually cut that off on YouTube. And depending on how you structure your stream, you could have your countdown timer at the beginning, and then you could have your shout outs after that, and then have the hook that we talked about in mistake number 1, so that when you cut everything off in the beginning on YouTube, that it starts at that hook on the replay. Using that structure just for the sake of YouTube will make for a much better replay experience that we talked about in mistake number 1. The next mistake that a lot of YouTube live streamers make is looking at their live streams as content that's only good while it's live or on the replay as the entirety of the live stream. Look, there's a really good chance that when you are live streaming that you have sound bites that you can pull out that you can share on social media. You might even have full videos that you can make out of some of the content that you're making in your live stream that you can add to your YouTube channel to create more content that will get you in front of more people. Or you could even start a second channel that's just nothing but clips. So people that prefer to watch the video versions of what you do, then they have the short highlights over there. And then for the live streaming crowd, then of course they get to hang out while you're live. This is helpful for getting you in front of more people based on the different ways that people like to experience content. So dig through your streams and see if you do have any highlights or any full videos that you can make out of that content that you're already making through your live streams. To learn more about live streaming as it relates to YouTube, click into this playlist right here. I've got a bunch of content in there that's going to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.